Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. It means a lot to me and I hope you're doing amazing so far today. So for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my best and worst purchases and best and worst money decisions in my 20s. I've been seeing videos like this go around on YouTube, and since my channel talks a lot about money, I thought this would be kind of interesting to share my mistakes and also the good things that I've done with money in my 20s. So to open this video with a bang, let's talk about my worst purchase that I've ever made in probably my life, and that would be a gym membership. Not to say that being healthy isn't important and that you shouldn't go to the gym if it's something that you know you're gonna follow through with and that you wanna do. But I paid for a year-long gym membership, and I'm not kidding you, I went 3 times. That is so bad, and I paid so much money. Every 2 weeks, I think it was $32, which adds up to be a crazy amount. I don't even wanna do the math of how much that is yearly because I know I'll feel even more guilty. But I didn't go to the gym because I realized that I really don't like a gym atmosphere. I don't like people being around me when I work out. I would rather just work out like in my own space where people can't see me because I'm not the most athletic person, so I'm like a little bit self-conscious. I do technically pay for like a gym now. We have a little fitness room in our apartment complex. It's only $10 a month for both me and Aaron, which is way better than the $32 a month I was paying at my other gym. So now I do go to the gym sometimes, but because it's so small and it's just in my own apartment, there's not as many people there, and so I go more often. Plus, it's a lot more cheap and affordable, so I will never ever pay for a gym membership again. I also think that it would just be better to invest in like a treadmill or just a machine that I could have in my home rather than pay for a gym membership. I know for some people they say that like having to actually go out makes them go to the gym more or makes them exercise more because they feel like if they're just gonna do it in their house, then they're not gonna do it. But I'm the opposite. If I know that I have to like get in my car and drive somewhere, I'm not gonna work out. The easier that I can make working out, the better it is for me. So a gym membership was my worst purchase of life so far. Now that I've told you guys about my worst purchase, let's move on to my best purchase. And that is my car that I have now. I bought a $5,000 used Mazda. That's probably so funny. You guys were probably thinking that I was gonna tell you that I bought this like super nice, amazing car, but I love my car. It was affordable, it was in good condition, it works really well, and cars don't really mean a whole lot to me. So as long as it works and it gets me from point A to point B and it's a reliable vehicle, that's all that really matters to me. And before I had my car in university, I would have to take cabs and taxis a lot of places, which is such a waste of money because they charge so much. And I was a little bit too particular to take the bus. Not that there's anything wrong with taking the bus, but I get car sick really easily. So I would get car sick on the bus. And then I also have a really bad sense of direction. So I could never figure out how the bus system worked. I would always get lost. So then I could only really rely on a taxi, and it cost me a ton of money. So what I did was I got a student loan, and I put all of that student loan towards a secondhand car. So I had enough money to pay for my university, but because I wanted a car, I took out a student loan so that there would be less interest than a car loan, and I spent that on my car. And my car is still working super well, and it was just like a great purchase. Super affordable and still a reliable vehicle. I always say to Aaron that I will never be somebody who has a brand new car. I just think that vehicles are like kind of a bad investment because you pay so much and their value depreciates so easily and so much. And like I said, if I don't care really about cars, then why would I spend a whole bunch of money on one? As long as it works and I can drive it safely, then that's all that matters to me. One of the best money decisions that I've made in my 20s and basically ever in my life is to work all the way throughout university. I know some people find it really hard to have a job when you're in university or college because because it's a lot of work. Being in school is a full-time job in itself, but I'm so thankful that I was able to work part-time all throughout university because it really took a lot of pressure off of my student loans and how much money I had to save up or like scrounge together for my university. So I didn't have to take out student loans except for my car, like I said, for university because I had so much saved up. I could pay for my rent with my part-time job money that I was making. So working throughout school was like the best money decision I've ever made. Another really good money decision I've made in my 20s and just being a young adult is not paying for cable or a home phone. I have a cell phone that works perfectly fine, and I also have a Netflix account, which is awesome. I love my Netflix, but I don't need to pay for cable or home phone. But the phone and cable companies always try and convince me otherwise. Whenever you call and ask a question about like your cell phone, they'll always try and throw in like cable or home phone for just a few dollars more. But this is where they get you because people always say, oh, it's only a few extra dollars. If you're getting a cell phone, you might as well have cable and a home phone. But this adds up so much over the months, and even though it might only be an extra $15, when you look at your cable and phone bill at the end of the year, that's a lot of money that you could be putting somewhere else. So even though they make it seem like it's a good deal, it's really not because you do end up paying a lot more than you really have to. This next positive money decision I made really made a difference in my life as a whole, I feel like, and that's switching to a cheaper university. So for those of you who don't know, I did spend a year in Toronto. I went to Ryerson University for a year, and it was crazy expensive because the university was right downtown Toronto. Living costs were crazy, and the tuition was also a lot of money. And just being in Toronto, you spend so much more money on everything. So just after that 1 year alone, I had spent, oh my God, like I don't even know how much I spent. I think it was $8,000 to live in residence, and then it was another $8,000 for my tuition, plus all of the extras that I had spent on transportation and flights home and just going out with my friends. Like, I can't even fathom how much money that was. So after my first year in Toronto, I kind of realized it wasn't for me. I felt really claustrophobic. I didn't really have many friends because I found it hard to make friends in Toronto. And so I made the decision to move to Newfoundland, where I finished my degree. So I went to Memorial University, and the tuition, get this guys, was only $2,500 a year, which was such a big change, so crazy. I saved an insane amount of money, and I was also able to live super affordably in a little apartment that was a quarter of the price that I would have paid in Toronto. So just making that move and choosing a cheaper university has set me up for so much more success later in life. I don't have the burden of a ton of student loans. I have the same education. I have the same social work degree that I was going to school in Toronto for, but I don't have to work for the next like 20 years paying off loans. Throughout this video, I've been talking a lot about my positive money experiences, and I must say I am really good with my money, but there has been a few times over the years that I've slipped up a little bit and I've made some bad money decisions. Like I said, with my gym membership, but also all throughout maybe like middle school and high school, and even the first year of university, I was really into fast fashion, and I can't even think about how much money I probably spent on cheap garbage clothes that I wore only a couple times, and then I either got rid of or they just ripped and I had to throw away. Every single year before I would go back to school, I would actually challenge myself to see how many clothes I could buy without having to wear the same outfit twice in school. And I cannot believe I'm saying this because that is totally opposite of what I'm like now. But when I was younger, I actually used to try and not wear the same outfit because I just loved clothes. I love putting different outfits together, and this caused me to spend a lot of money and honestly destroy the environment a little bit in the process because I was buying such just cheap clothes that would break and rip after a few wears. Now I am much more careful with my clothing choices. I like to buy buy things that might be a little bit more money that I can wear for longer. And I just don't buy clothes like I used to. I might go out and go clothes shopping like a couple times a year, but other than that, I don't like to spend my money on clothes. I've also been the same size since I think I was in the 6th grade. So a lot of my clothes that I wear, I've had for years, which is really good because I like getting as much wear out of them as I can. I don't want to be spending a whole bunch of money on new clothes every season. Okay, everyone, so that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you got to see that we all make mistakes with our money, but it's just important to learn from them and don't make the same mistake twice. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and also hit the red subscribe button if you're new so that you can be a part of our YouTube family, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Super affordable and still a reliable